friend, Chloe Condon here. I am so excited to be speaking at Codeland this year. Let's go ahead and get started. Today's talk that I'm going to be giving is all about Mario Kart Astrology, which if you've never heard of it before, totally okay because I invented it, so you probably have never heard of it before. But basically, I'm going to be showing you how to use the Microsoft Face API to make your own cool, awesome, fun astrology. You can make Disney princess astrology, you can make Animal Crossing astrology, really whatever you want, and I'm going to give you the tools to make that. So without further ado, let's get started. So a little bit about me. Who is this crazy lady with the Nickelodeon orange-colored hair? My name is Chloe Condon. I am a cloud advocate at Microsoft. I am a Clippy fan. I wore my earrings just for this occasion. And my job is to help build fun things with Azure and teach students how to use them. I work on the academic team here at Microsoft on the cloud advocate team. I'm also an actress turned developer advocate. So I'm really excited. We have so many code newbies or maybe folks who are looking to make the transition into technology. Welcome. You are so welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. So let's get started, shall we? So cognitive services. What is the Face API? Great question. So cognitive services and the Face API are an API that help us detect faces in images. So as you can see from this image here, we have what looks to be a father and son, and we've got this nice little red square around their faces, right? So that includes a couple different things, which include face detection. So the Face API detects human faces in an image and returns the rectangle coordinates of their locations. So optionally, face detection can extract a bunch of different face-related attributes. So everything from head pose to age, emotion, facial hair, glasses, really anything and everything you can think of on the face. Just like here on this little raccoon. Okay, but what are some actual examples of this? I know we all came here to learn about Mario Kart astrology, right? So this story kind of starts from a very interesting origin. It was something silly and fun that I thought that I'd tweet, which is the following tweet. In my opinion, your chosen Mario Kart player says way more than your zodiac sign does. If they choose Toad, you're like, okay, you're an introvert. And if they choose Bowser, you're like, okay, who hurt you? So it was something silly and fun that I shared on the internet. For context, a lot of the tweets that I tweet are puns about technology or bad engineering dad jokes. And I've always been interested in astrology, but by no means didn't think it was science. I always thought it was interesting that people have sort of historically attached a meaning to the stars. And while I find star signs and horoscopes to be interesting, I've never assigned too much value to them. It felt kind of like a generalization based on my date of birth, which I have zero control over. However, in my mind, choosing your Mario Kart player has a lot more accurate data about my personality than my horoscope sign ever has. So your player isn't something that's randomly assigned to you. I know we all kind of have our players if you played Mario Kart that you kind of go to each time. And sometimes it really says something about the person's personality, but it also speaks to what you value in a player. So for me, I've always gone the small, cute, pink route. I'm usually a pink, peach, toadette, occasional wild moment where I'll be a Yoshi. And I like these characters because they're lightweight, they move fast, and they make fun sounds when they're, throwing banana peels and stuff. But I noticed that my boyfriend, anytime that we played Mario Kart, would always do Bowser, Wario, Dry Bones, all these very evil and somewhat large characters. And I asked him why he chose these, and he said, they're fun, and I like the idea of a big lizard and a go-kart. It's kind of funny. So in short, based on this data, I was like, I guess my boyfriend is evil. And myself, being a pink-loving kind of person, I was like, oh, this kind of matches our aesthetics. Obviously, this is all for comedy's sake, but it's interesting to see which Mario Kart players your friends choose. So I thought, what if I used this data, these Mario Kart player images, and I tried to detect something from it. So in this case with my boyfriend and I, it was large and evil villains and small and cute pink creatures. So the more I read the comments on my tweet, the more interested I was in the correlation between these things. And folks started to comment and say things about ask me what their players said about them. And I had these joke responses, like someone said, "What does Yoshi say about a person?" And I said, "You're eager to please." Another person said, "What does Pink Gold Peach say about me?" And I said, "You have excellent taste and you don't put up with anyone's crap." So these were just kind of fun ones that I came off the top of my head with. Green shy guy, you're green and very shy. Pretty easy, right? But the coolest part and the beauty of the internet is a follower of mine first created a Google Doc putting all of the different answers to my questions so we could keep tabs of what all the Mario Kart players said about the person. But then he actually turned it into a Github page, which if you're not familiar, every single GitHub project that you make comes with a free GitHub page where you can host all the information about your project. And he open sourced all of this, so you can totally take a look at it. Feel free to steal it, use it yourself. But he made this wonderful Mario Kart Astrology page, as you can see here, that uses nes.css, which is a Super Nintendo library. That's where we got all of the kind of 8-bit aesthetic here. NES React, and then the Super Mario Wiki he was pulling the images from. And the amazing part, again, is that it's open source, so you can definitely play around with it yourself. But I thought, okay, what if I used the Microsoft Face API? So I finally got around to making my very own Mario Kart Astrology using Microsoft Face API, GitHub pages, and a little creativity. And here is how I did that. So before we get into all the technical details, here is a diagram of what I made and what we're going to be walking through. So first, we're going to find Mario Kart player images, run it through the Microsoft Face API, throw a banana peel at an opponent, that part's optional, and write creative horoscopes that correspond with the emotion data that we are returned, and then host the horoscopes on a GitHub page for everyone to see. So step 1, use the Microsoft Face API. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Microsoft Azure Face API, it's a cognitive service that provides algorithms for detecting, recognizing, analyzing human faces like I covered before, and it's got a range of features. I was ready to assess my data and start building, but I quickly ran into a problem, which is that it's not able to detect animated faces from cartoons. So that was the first roadblock I ran into, but I went into problem-solving mode and I thought, oh, people cosplay Mario Kart, or at least Mario players a bunch, right? So I ended up going online, finding Mario Kart player images, and I only needed data returned to me about the emotions of the characters. But just for fun, I kept in different elements like facial hair, age, to see if maybe for images of baby Mario, it actually would confirm it was a baby. Spoiler alert, it did. And if a fake mustache on a Mario cosplayer would register, another spoiler, it did. And once I determined that there were enough images online for me to make horoscopes for a majority of the Mario Kart players. Sadly, there are not many folks dressing up as Iggy or Ludwig, so if you want to make that part of that data set for me by starting a cosplay, go for it. And I began to process images of the characters. Now, of course, when I was looking for these images, I wanted the expressions on their face, because oftentimes we smile in photos, right, even when we're a cosplayer. But I wanted to make sure that the expressions on the faces matched the characters. So no smiling Bowsers up in here. We want a grumpy Bowser, right? Because Bowser's usually pretty grumpy. And so here is an example of that. So here's an example and sort of a breakdown of the results of the Face API returned on a character. So this character here is Lemmy Koopa. A little lesser known character, but I wanted to do a fun one. He's a rainbow turtle looking thing who appears to be pretty happy. He's also considered a villain in the Mario Kart universe. So I ran the following to get the results back on the emotions in this image. And you'll notice that I kept a couple other attributes here. So and note that you'll need to have your subscription key and your Face API URL from your Microsoft account. So when you're doing this yourself, and I'll link to a free tutorial that you can try this out for yourself, you'll need those two things there. So as you can see in this code, we have our Face API URL, the subscription key up the top there, and then we put in the image URL, and then we have all of the different parameters that we want to have back. So in this case, age, head pose, smile, emotion, hair, makeup, accessories, and facial hair. So I was super curious to figure out what I would get back. So after running my Python file with the command python detect face.py, the following data is returned. That looks like a lot of, gobbledygook text, but let's break it down and make it a little bit more readable. So first, we get the face ID, and each face in the image, there's only one in this case, gives us a unique face ID. In this case, it's that long, nice number right there at the top. Emotions, so according to my results, Lemmy is overall pretty happy. He's a pretty happy Koopa. He has a small amount of contempt, otherwise neutral, and based on these results, I'll create a fun little horoscope later. So sadness, you see, is 0.0, neutral, 0.27, contempt, 0.001, happiness, 0.729. Okay, so he's a little happy. Makeup, accessories, facial hair, head pose, etc. So this one is interesting, right? Because you'll notice it was able to estimate the age of the person, and also if they're wearing makeup. Lemmy, they're pretty confident here that he's wearing glasses, which I agree with. He's wearing a mask, so we'll count that as glasses. And on this particular image, we aren't returning much data on sideburns, mustache, beard, because this person is wearing a wig and a mask. But we're detecting a multitude of hair colors since it's a rainbow wig. The head pose is also listed here. If we specify this attribute when we're detecting faces, you'll be able to query it later, which is really nice. And last but not least, smile. Pretty self-explanatory. It's got a 0.729 confidence that it's smiling. So needless to say, this was some of the most fun data entry I've ever done. So let's take a look at some examples here. So step 2 is to write some silly horoscopes based on the data. This is the most fun part with the least amount of code. So once I obtained the data on the moods of the cosplay images, I got to get really creative and make fun, little sweet, short and sweet horoscopes. And I just got to use my brain here. So here's an example of baby Mario. I used an image of a baby dressed up as Mario, and it says, "You're a baby, so you're pretty chill. But you're known to get a little emotional sometimes," because as you can see, kind of sad, a little bit neutral, so pretty chill baby. This one for Donkey Kong says, "You're constantly surprised by everything, especially banana peels in the road." And obviously I wrote this one because for the most part he's neutral, but surprise 0.619, pretty high, right? So step 3, add some nes.css and deploy to GitHub pages. So again, I used this CSS library that Stephen had used on his little demo project that he had done before. When you make your own, depending on your Rick and Morty astrology, or maybe you're even doing astrology based on your own set of characters that you've made, you can use whatever kind of CSS library that you want. And again, this part's just for fun to show it off. And if you're looking for more info on how to deploy your own React project to GitHub pages, there's great tutorials online that can definitely help you with that as well. So check out nes.css, especially if you're doing a redo of your website. Really cool open source library. And last but not least, I took some time to kind of play around and make this site look cute, but here's a look of all the different characters and all of the different information that it returns. Such a fun project to do, and I'm really, really excited to see all of the different astrology that y'all end up making. Here's another one here, Cat Peach. It says, "You're a very chill and happy person. You like cats. You actually may be a cat." And mainly just wrote that one because it's 0.415 happiness and then neutral for the most part. So you can really get creative and fun with these, make them your own, use your left side creative writing side of your brain to do this part. If you want to just test this right out without running it in the terminal and just test it out in your browser, you can go to aka.ms/facefuntime, scroll down a little bit, and you can test it out by just using a link to a URL of an image. So for this particular example, I used the popular image of the meme of the couple with the other lady walking by. And as you can see from here, it's detecting that this lady is reacting to her boyfriend her mood is definitely anger. She's not too excited about the way he's reacting here. So you can literally do this with any image. I've tried it with images of the mean girls. Spoiler alert, they all come off as kind of mean and angry. You can do it literally with any sort of image of any human being. So have a fun time playing with that. I certainly have had a lot of fun putting Star Wars images, all sorts of different images in there to detect emotion. And if you want to learn all of this and have a step-by-step tutorial teaching you how to do all of these things that I just said in a very short amount of time, you can go to aka.ms/Mario Kart start, and you can try it out on your own. It will literally have step-by-step, totally free instructions on how to get started with the Microsoft Face API. I am so excited to see the cool, awesome projects in astrology that you're gonna build, and please tag me in them on Twitter. I've added my Twitter handle here. I would love to see the amazing projects that you build with the Face API with your new Face API knowledge. So this has been Chloe. Happy coding, Codeland, and I am so excited for this wonderful conference with the coolest rainbow logo in the world. So have a good rest of your conference, y'all.